I was thinking the other day how much Bittensor meant to me and what it encompasses and why I'm so infatuated with the project. My name is Jeremy, aka School of Crypto, and I'm bringing you another Bittensor video. And here's my daughter Eliza. Say hi. So, for me, getting into crypto back in 2017, I came in as an investor and I came out as a crypto digital asset follower and researcher and writer. So I first got enthralled with Neo, which was a Chinese project, layer one, that was promising the world, ended up not getting to the potential that it should have. And then I started writing for Elastos, which was kind of like a operating system blockchain that was merge mined with Bitcoin and had a layer 2 Ethereum sidechain. And I wrote for that project for a number of years. And for me, what Bittensor meant to me when I first got into it last year was that it was a project that was going to lead the AI crypto narrative in the next bull run. That's what that was the narrative that I was looking at. But as I got more and more into the project, it became a lot bigger than that for me. It wasn't as much of an investment as it was a movement, as it was a community, as it was a technology that was going to change the world. And just to start out with, Bittensor to me is community. And it's really amazing to see how accessible everybody is in the ecosystem. And I can just go down the list. Like, I've had, interactions with James Altucher through Tal Daily. I've messaged Mark Jeffrey. I've talked to Grant with Ventura Labs. I've really got to know a decent amount of people within the ecosystem, whether it's through X or Telegram or LinkedIn. And everybody's very gracious with their time. And you can't say the same thing about other ecosystems. Like with Ethereum, for example, I'm not going to be able to hit up, Stanny, the founder of Aave, right? Like, that's not going to happen, right? I'm not going to be able to talk to Vitalik. Const in the Discord, I messaged him about something just like in the chat and he responded, right? So like, everybody seems like very accessible. And it's a very community driven project, right? So like, I appreciate that. And that's a big part of what Bittensor means to me, is being a part of that community and believing in the mission and believing in the technology that's going to change the world for the better. And speaking of technology, that's a huge part of it as well. And being able to be on the forefront of a platform and a project that can develop technology in such a rapid pace, that is something very exciting to follow, something that's very exciting to write about, to talk about here on YouTube, to see that rapid innovation occur based on the very smart design that was built by Const, that ultimately allows these digital commodities to really progress in a really fast fashion, and setting records and surpassing benchmarks and continually getting better. And I think like the technology, the innovation, is something that's like very, very exciting and something that I want to just follow every single day. And also, Bittensor to me, like the last video, is just opportunity, right? Like opportunity to, cover it, opportunity to mine, opportunity to maybe own your own subnet one day and develop your own product. An opportunity to really understand a different form of creating a business, working for a business, creating a digital commodity, Again, I think like we're all creators at the end of the day, whether you're doing a video, doing an article, mining, validating, a subnet owner. We're all creators. And I think that to me, Bittensor is the creator platform. It's creating innovation. It's creating opportunities. It's creating, a whole new community that can contribute in a variety of fashions. So, that's also something what Bittensor means to me. And what Bittensor also means to me is it's the future, right? This is the future of potentially what a business looks like, potentially what a freelance worker looks like. This could be another type of economy that is going to be potentially, distributed throughout, the world in terms of the adoption and how people go about business and how they transact and how, again, commodities are built and how they're bought and how they're utilized. And so I think for me, like, we're getting a glimpse into the future of what business might look like, right? How innovation is created. And everybody's used to, the centralized way, big FANG companies that are creating these new, innovations and technology. But this is kind of like the worldwide effort. And having this adversarial network that really puts the miners to the test in order to continue to innovate, continue to get better, because their rewards depend on it. And then the subnet owners ultimately get the benefit of that dynamic and they get better products because of it. So, for me, that looks like the future, right? Of how, things can develop and how innovations can be built. And, I think also for me, what Bittensor means to me is, very strong leadership. So like, I really think Kantz is a visionary. He's kind of one of the guys, like he loves being a part of the community. He loves being in the middle of those novelty searches, every week. Really loves to speak his mind. Just like has a lot to say and doesn't care about what people think. And he's not a yes man. And he has a vision for what he wants Bittensor to be going forward. And I think that ultimately you want a project to have those attributes and those characteristics. So, for me, Bittensor means a strong leader at the top that cares about the project, that cares about the community, that cares about, how things operate moving forward for the best of the ecosystem and the holders, So I think, like, to encapsulate everything, like, on what Bittensor means to me, it's the future, it's community, it's the leader at the top, and it's just pure joy in covering this ecosystem and just seeing what's next. You kind of always have to be on your toes, and in any given time, day, hour, week, month, there could be fireworks just in terms of developments that happen within the ecosystem. So to me, that means a lot. This project means a lot to me, and that's why I'm doing these videos. That's why I've written those articles. That's why I'm, trying to dig deep and contribute in any way possible. So Bittensor means a lot to me. What does Bittensor mean to you guys, right? Like, definitely let me know in the comments down below. Appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.